My name's Adam Whitbroat, and I was a drug addict. No, absolutely not. My name's Adam Whitbroat, and I'm an ex-con. My name's Adam Whitbroat, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. It's getting closer, guys. My name's Adam Whitbroat, and I'm a business owner and leader. Not quite yet. My name's Adam Whitbroat, and I'm a human being who strives to level up my life daily, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. Bingo. Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the Level Up Life, Muscle and Mindset Mastery. My name's Adam Whitbroat, and before we get started, I want to just thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to me, bottom of my heart. What is the Level Up Life podcast? It's going to be fitness, mindset, personal growth. All that stuff matters. Just like as you watch the intro, all of those things that I said, I have identified myself at some point in my life. And I wanted to highlight the importance of how we talk to ourselves and how big of an impact that can actually have on our happiness, even what we're capable of, and how we treat others in our heads and out loud. It all matters. So, Level Up Life podcast, we started this. It was an idea I had a while back, got to this point, and was ready to take that dive and get it started. Fitness, personal growth, mindset. We'll also be sharing stories, personal stories, vulnerable moments, and strategies, how our guests and myself, how we've gotten through these humps in our lives, and hope that it empowers our listeners, whoever that may be. The interviews we conduct here will be really focused on transforming mind and body, empowering everyone to change their lives, take control, and, be what you want to be. We'll be having special guests on, local trainers. We'll have professionals in their industry, cardiologists, psychologists, anything you can think of when you think of the human body and the brain, how we think. So basically, the reason why I wanted to start this was because there's so much that goes into life. Life is so busy, and there's so many little hacks that I've learned along the way that I want to share. And also there's tons of information I can learn from our guests. So I think it's a growing opportunity for everyone involved. To give you a little background, if you don't know me about my story, so I was a baseball player in high school. Well, really since I could walk, I was throwing a baseball and swinging a bat. It was my first true love. And from that point, I, got into varsity team my sophomore year, ended up pulling a muscle in my neck. For most people, that wouldn't be a pivotal moment in their life, but for me, it was the first time I was introduced to opiates. Went and seen my doctor. They prescribed me Norco and Valium for a pulled muscle in my neck, and I didn't know it at the time how big of an impact that would have on the next 2 decades. So basically in that moment, I realized that, I like the way this makes me feel. And I was going to my mom who had my medication. I was going to her, 2 to 4 hours after I took my dose, and the medication was prescribed to be every 4 to 6 hours. So it wasn't about pain management. It was about chasing that feeling that I was getting. And that was with me not even consciously knowing what was happening. Since I've learned about my personal addiction and I've been able to look back on that moment in my life and really identify that as a red flag. And if me sharing that with you, someone out there, if it helps them identify a red flag and save parts of their future. That's the reason, one of the reasons why this is all part of my mission in life. So from that point, I played around with substances over the years, and it got progressively worse as these events happened around me. Like when my dad passed away, rather than reaching out to the people that I had in my life, and I had a great support network back then, but I didn't use them for numerous reasons. Part of that was I thought I had to be strong for everyone else, which, all these people in my life, my family, my friends were, are you okay, Adam? Are you okay? And then I wasn't, but I personally didn't want to dig it up, didn't want to talk about it. And that's kind of where the substance abuse went from like recreational to now this is my coping mechanism. This is how I'm going to deal with problems in my life. And I couldn't tell you exactly the moment that happened, but I can tell you that a lot of people out there that struggle with substance abuse, it really starts as a coping mechanism for something, some sort of trauma. It can be, start as pain like what I had with the opiates, and then lead to a coping mechanism for emotional pain, for spiritual pain, anything. So that's really, where it started for me. And then as I had more family members that had passed away, it was my dad in 2001, or excuse me, my grandpa in 2001, my dad in 2003, and then my grandma in 2005. So it was boom, boom, boom. And I didn't have any time to really unpack what I was feeling. And it was really hard because once I don't know, for the listener out there that has struggled with any sort of substance abuse, once you start a behavior and it becomes a habit, it's harder to break. And especially when that habit creates physical dependence. And that's what the opiates did to me, where it became, I have a choice. I can go through, a week or two of pain, suffering in the detox, and knowing after that I'm still going to have to go through the pain of unpacking all this, or I could just keep bottling the sickness, the physical symptoms down, and keep bottling all my emotional pain down. And it was the easier route to take and hurt way less. So over the years, I ended up getting, there were legal issues. I got, it was 2005 was my first time in trouble with the law. Then it was 2007. Then I had violated my probation, and I ended up spending almost 2 years in prison. And at that point, it was getting to be where I really, really wanted it, but I wasn't desperate enough. I wasn't to the point where I was willing to do anything to have a better life. And I didn't have the tools to change. Now let's take a moment to thank our sponsors, Pine Haven Assisted Living. At Pine Haven Assisted Living, they believe in making every resident feel at home. Nestled in the peaceful countryside of Hemlock, Michigan, they offer compassionate care in a family-like environment where residents can enjoy independence with the support they need. Registered nurse-owned and operated, their team provides personalized care, home-cooked meals, and a range of activities to ensure your loved ones continue to live a fulfilling life. They also have alpacas and llamas on site to enrich the lives of their residents. Experience the warmth and comfort of Pine Haven. Call them today at 989-295-6632. That's 989-295-6632. Or you can visit them on their website at pinehavenassistedliving.com. That's pinehavenassistedliving.com for more information. Now, back to the level up life. So, spent time in prison, got out, kept trying to work the system, and while I was on supervision through the courts, and basically, my cycle, I kept repeating the same cycle until it was January 29th of 2016. I ended up using, and I was an IV user, and the next thing I remember, I was strapped to a gurney. Apparently I fought the paramedics, which I'm not a violent person, so it was way out of character for me. And at that point, I was lucky I was still alive. Paramedics happened to be like 5 minutes away. That guest that was at the hotel I was working at checked in at the perfect moment where she seen me actually go down. So there was not a whole lot of time in between, and I'm super blessed to be here because of all these events happened perfect in the perfect order at the perfect time for me to still be alive today. So I ended up going back to jail because of that, and I was in a recovery court program. I got accepted into it, but right before that happened, I remember this was just that moment my mindset shifted. I threw my hands in the air, and we all go through those moments where we want change. It may be a fitness goal, it may be a relationship goal, it could be any of those things. And we get to a point where we're desperate and we're willing to do whatever it takes to make that change happen. So I got to that point, and I remember it very, very vividly. I was sitting in my cell talking to my bunkie, and I was telling him how mad I was that the paramedics revived me just so the police could charge me with a felony. And in that moment, I realized just how crazy I sounded. I was mad that they saved my life and charged me with a felony. So at that point, I literally and figuratively threw my hands in the air, and that's when my willingness was born. So I was able to get help from counselors, spiritual advisors, my peers, my family. I mean, I had an army of people through various programs that were extending their hand to me. They were really willing to help me because I wanted it, and they could see that. It was emanating from my spirit. And, from that point, I really, it wasn't a problem for me to want to change, because that was 100% there. It was more of like, I need to cultivate resilience. I need to recultivate a work ethic that I had. I needed to, be the squeaky wheel that creates the squeaky wheel gets the grease, that creates opportunities. Because yes, opportunities do come along, but for the people who are out there grinding every day, that are, making new connections, they're asking for help with this, asking for help with that, you can create more opportunities for yourself. And it's wonderful how many doors will start opening for you. And that's what happened to me, because I got the shovel out. I went to work and I grinded. And that's how I got the opportunities that I did. So here I am, starting this podcast, which what does level up mean? The level up mindset. What does that mean? It's resilience. It's connection between physical fitness and mental strength. Anybody can relate who's been to the gym, and you get to those final reps of your final set of an exercise, and they burn a little bit more. They take a little bit more effort, and the mind will quit before the body 9 times out of 10. So that's where you really got to look deep inside yourself and say, I need to do this last 2 reps, this last rep. I can get this, believing in yourself. So those moments, if you consistently do that at the gym on every set, on every rep, you're going to build more muscle in the long run. If you're consistently pushing yourself in your career, in your, bettering your relationships, being there for the people around you, that is going to make things grow just like your muscle tissue. That's resilience. That's the level up mindset. And that's what it means. Continuous self-improvement, mind, body, and we can all do it. It's all inside of us. Discipline, resilience, consistency, all that stuff, it matters. And just like me sitting here in front of the camera talking to you right now, I was so scared to do this, and I've done public speaking. I've spoke to people. This is something new, and it's out of my comfort zone. And we don't feel when we haven't done something before, it can be really hard. I know a lot of people struggle out there just walking into the gym their first time. It can be really intimidating. You don't know how to lift weights. You don't know how to use the machines. You don't know anybody there. It's a scary place. That's what this was to me. So getting out of my comfort zone and talking to you right now is a example right in the forefront of personal growth for me. So thank you for being here with me on that. So digging a little deeper, part of my success has been the people I've had around me. And I really like the Jim Rohn quote, and this has rang with me since my early recovery days. You are the average of the 5 people that you're around the most. Now think about that, and I want you to really sit back and think about who are those 5 people you're around the most. And are they benefiting you? Because I know when I reflect on my substance abuse and the years I was using, the people that I was around the most were mostly people that were using. It kind of goes along with the old adage, if you are hanging out in the barber shop long enough, you're eventually going to get a haircut. And, can be on the other side of that coin too, where if you're hanging around people who are excited about life, they're pushing you to do better and be better and grow every day to level up your life, then you'll see your life change based on who you're surrounding yourself with. So yeah, it's super important. Can't stress that enough. So let me ask you a question. What's one area you want to level up? Is it your fitness? Do you want to get into better shape? That can be lose a couple pounds. That can be, do you have medical issues? Do you have, are you on blood pressure medication? Are you on, have you had significant health issues? It could be health. It could be maybe you have problems in your relationships and you want to improve on that. Or maybe it's your career. Are you truly happy? Do you enjoy what you do? I challenge you, every listener out there, I challenge you, think of one thing you can do. If it's fitness, it could be, I'm going to walk today for 5 minutes. Doesn't have to be a big goal. Once you build success on whatever goal that is, you can build on it. Maybe add a minute. And eventually you're going to get so far from your original goal. When you look back at it, you're going to be amazed. So don't let yourself become overwhelmed by the end goal. You got to look at the small goals along the way. So I challenge you, and feel free to reach out to me and tell me about your successes or what your goal is, because accountability is part of that. I'm grateful for everyone that took time out of their day. Means so much to me. I encourage you, click like, subscribe, share the video. Basically, I'm grateful, and I look forward to being on here again next. For the next episode, we're gonna have a few guests on. One is my partner in training, Dave Wozni. He'll be on, and then we're gonna talk to some other people about recovery, right, and how fitness has helped them strengthen their recovery. Thank you again.